It's Movie Time is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows and read reviews online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm Wayne Miller. And I'm going to try to talk around my Clint Eastwood memorial cheroot.
But let's tell them it's movie time, isn't it? Is that?
Yes. Well, that's right.
I wondered if we said
Yeah,
that.
it's movie time.
That's all right. We're getting crazy with our cheroots.
I know. I mean, just kind of like having it in my mouth is giving me a contact high.
But this is Macho Week at WCBE with our boy Clint Eastwood's Cry Macho.
Right.
His newest film.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how many, he must have 90 in his filmography, but he's got 45 that he directed.
Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow.
And then, of course, I think his film debut was as a very small part as a Navy pilot and a really pretty decent horror film in the mid-50s called Tarantula.
Oh my gosh,
Yes,
I forgot all about that.
Straight the poor giant arachnid there. But John, I was a bit disappointed because I thought we were going to see a documentary on Machu Picchu, the historical relics down in South America, but instead we got an American historic old relic in Clint.
Yes, it is. And the essence of macho.
Yeah.
All right, so Cry Macho, which doesn't really define it for me in the movie.
No.
I mean, I don't think he gets anywhere near that. He talks a little bit about it. He even has one speech on it. Well, it's overrated.
Yeah. Well, when the 13-year-old boy that he goes down to kind of rescue from his family and bring back to his American father in America, and Clint's character goes down to Mexico, but the boy is involved with cockfighting.
Yeah.
Memorable line that we could probably say on the air because it's been in the trailers quite a bit. That Clint tells the boy, says something about, well, that's real original, calling your cock macho.
He said,
I think that was the name of the rooster.
He said, if somebody wants to call his cock macho,
Yeah.
it's okay with him.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's about one of the only memorable lines in the movie, wouldn't you say? I mean,
Clint always, in a lot of his film portrayals, what you would describe as laconic.
you think?
And this is definitely a laconic film that is slow, but purposely so.
It is.
And he doesn't, as a director, but also the guy can still hold his own at 91 years old on the big screen.
Listen, he's writing and directing, acting.
Yes.
I mean, this guy, he's acting and directing, and he's got it from a couple of guys who have written other productions for him.
Yeah.
So he's, he's in familiar territory. Look, Warner Brothers says, you want to make a movie, you make a movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You think they care? Besides which, he always comes in under budget,
on
time.
And actors and actresses and crew members love working with him because he has a drama-free way of making films that people appreciate. That he's on time, he expects them to do their job. And it's kind of like, it doesn't give a lot of directions, just basically like where to stand, what to do, and they know it'll make some money because he still is a Hollywood icon.
Yeah, he's bankable.
And well put.
Yeah.
Very bankable because there's always going to be people who are going to go, and not just older folks, younger people like him.
Sure.
He's, in a way, their favorite great-grandfather.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's, as you see him on screen, one of the interesting things about going and seeing him on screen is to watch a robust, so to speak, 91-year-old man doing his thing.
Yeah.
And he is doing exactly what he wants to do. He's not pandering to anyone. He's just giving you a film that he knows will be entertaining because it is entertaining. It's not great filmmaking. It's very classical, very spare, as you said, very minimalist,
Yes.
and people like, who was it that was in Mystic River? Tim Robbins was in Mystic
Yes,
River with him.
yeah, yeah.
And recounted how Clint doesn't begin before 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And they're all off after lunch.
Yeah. But I mean, he still packs in. He's not one that's going to they always talked about how Stanley Kubrick just took take after take after take, just to get the right perfect one. Clint, probably, okay, that's good.
I know.
Let's move on.
Right.
But that's another thing is the other night with a bunch of friends that we were talking about favorite Clint Eastwood movies, and of course what always comes to mind are some of the standards like Dirty Harry, and of course the spaghetti western ones that he made in Italy. A lot of different movies. But he also, since you brought up and just reminded me, what an excellent director he is, and not being in movies like Mystic River, or the duo about Iwo Jima.
Oh, yes.
Our fathers and letters from whatever, and both films. One was from the standpoint of the American Marines. The other was from the standpoint of the Japanese.
Yeah.
And with English subtitles, which was excellent and very well received.
Followed by Gran Torino, which I thought this one might be it, but isn't.
No, because this one, Gran Torino, he kicked a lot of butt.
Yeah.
This one, a few smackdown, so punched
one punch
dude out, and that was it. But no, very different film, but I agree with you. I kind of thought the same thing.
Don't you think, though, that this reflects him as an older man in his older role? I don't think there's any reason why he should be a young man trying to do a young man's film. So the pace is exactly as you were describing it. It's really slow, but I never felt that. I knew it was slow, and I watched because I thought it was a metaphor for him as well.
Yeah. Well, Variety, I read a couple of reviews. One from that Roger Ebert, of course he's well gone, but but also from Variety magazine that talked about the movie, and it didn't really dawn on me until right now that the movie took place in 1979,
right?
And that the character was probably about 20 years younger.
He was in the novel.
That late 60s, early 70s.
Right. So he's playing somebody double.
Yes, so it's kind of like my God. So, but they said that. Look at that!
Macho.
Just got very machismo and knocking the sets over. But they kind of talked about how he was kind of like hunched over, moved slowly, and there was one that really kind of like. They thought a false note in the whole movie was at the end, the little dance that he's dancing.
Oh yes.
With that woman, the bar or cantina owner.
Marta, I think.
Yes, and they said that, but there wasn't any like love interest type. Or there wasn't, even though that the young boy's rich mother, who you thought was maybe hooked up with.
I think somebody called her cartoonish, and I I was right.
And
a slutty mother.
Slutty rich mother. Yes, and that she kind of hit on him a little bit, and then of course he developed this friendship with the bartender, too later on. But you're right, you could, you could sum up the plot of this movie, and even for a windbag like me, you could sum up about a minute, as far as an old friend of his who had fired him. And it didn't dawn on me that a year had passed since he had worked as a ranch hand.
Yeah.
And but was a well-known rodeo star, but an injury, and then
talk about another misstep. I thought
Dwight Yoakam.
Dwight Yoakam was not a good choice.
Yeah.
He certainly didn't do it for me, and he's given the heavyweight responsibility of doing all the exposition of all the back.
The one picture you said of which they were surprised because a lot of Eastwood movies, there is not a lot of expository dialogue. And whereas here, Yoke of the Livers, this one review said, kind of a tedious
Oh, I know it.
thing at the beginning.
Yeah. And it does move along, and even the little kid gets better as he goes along.
Yeah.
But you know, I also thought, in talking about, Eastwood trying to do everything and not always doing it right, I'm not sure his depiction of the women in this film is what I would have wanted for them. For instance, as we talked about the mother,
Yes.
she's kind of really kind of extreme. Then you have the cantina owner, Marta, who is really a nice lady.
Yeah.
But he does have a romance with her.
Yeah.
And here are two women who are half his age
And you gotta be
going
half his
after
age.
him. And I just don't know if that's, is that a white man's dream? Is that an older white man's
I don't
dream?
know. Or does it fit into the whole Latino machismo attitude about women?
And it could.
Could be, yeah. Well, Macho Man, I think they really needed the Village People to do the soundtrack.